But recognizing a pattern is a tremendous skill. And I'm good at recognizing political patterns. I'm not an expert on South Korea. I've not followed it for 45 years. I've followed it as a generalist. I'm aware of it. I have family members who served there. I've written a great deal about it in the first Trump administration. But I don't know it intimately. But what I do know intimately is communism. I've studied communism. If you go to my X account, the first words in my X bio are old Cold Warrior. I have been a Cold Warrior since childhood. I've been fighting the Cold War, I've been fighting Marxism, and I see a pattern. Let me read off some of the elements of the pattern you see when there is a Marxist or communist takeover of a country. You see election fraud. You see repression of churches, repression of opposition parties, repression of the media, getting the media to change stories. Have we seen that in the last 48 hours? You see the corruption of prosecutors, the appointment of corrupt prosecutors. You see installation of special courts, removal of judges and court packing. You see the imprisonment of opposition political leaders. You see attempts to shut down opposition political parties. You see, as George Orwell so brilliantly described in his little book, Animal Farm, you see sheep repeating mindlessly slogans and ideas to drown out independent thought. And you see an attempt to introduce division in society, and especially division among your opposition parties and among the people opposed to you. All these things go back more than 100 years. It's Vladimir Lenin who first came up with this pattern, and it has been followed rigorously and almost without exception, I don't know how many hundreds of times over the years. I wrote an article 5 or 6 years ago called 100 Years, 100 Million Victims, talking about the victims of communism. I'm so grateful to be in this building. Everything I said, I saw you nodding your heads. You've recognized this pattern. It is plain to see. As I said a couple of days ago, when somebody questions whether or not your election was legitimate or fraudulent, that if you won legitimately, what you do is you open the books, you open a transparent investigation, you invite in the doubters, and you invite in international media, international observers and international experts, and you say, look at the evidence, did we or did we not win? And while you're doing this, you appeal to the people and you say, we won, didn't we? And if you won, the majority of the people will say, yes, we won. This was a legitimate election. What you do if you lose, what you do if you, or if it was fraudulent, what you do if it was fraudulent is you make it illegal to say the election was stolen. You arrest people for even daring to go to the airport to meet with somebody who has called into question the election. You challenge, you try to arrest, you arrest the former president. What they're doing to President Yoon is shocking, and how the rest of the world can remain silent shocks my conscience, and it shocks my moral. It provokes moral outrage. You have a man who is in prison and denied medication and denied medical treatment, and his wife and so many people around him. Prime Minister Huang went through the list. That's what you do if you cheated, because you know that the mass of the people are not on your side. You know that the mass of the people voted against you, and so you institute repression instead. And the number one thing you repress, and this goes back before Lenin. He was the organizational genius. This goes back to Karl Marx. What do you repress first? What do you shut down first? Religion. You shut down the worship of God, because for the communists, God is the state, and the state is God. They want no interference, no loyalty to anyone but the state. And so they demand absolute loyalty. And they must stamp out faith in God. I'd like to echo the words, the call of my friend and brother here. Two things I beg you to do. Pray without ceasing, pray without stopping, and be united. Because another Leninist tactic is to insert provocateurs into your ranks to make you fight each other. And if somebody is trying to make you fight, either get that person to stop or unite with everybody around them, away from that person. Just walk around them and unite. Do not let yourselves be divided. Be united in your opposition. And I'll end my remarks there.
왜 중국을 찝쩍거려요? 그냥 쎄쎄.